Austin Aries making his NXT debut. We talk about this. We've been talking about this for a while now. You know, there's an excerpt I shared on Twitter over the weekend that I talked about on a WrestleRant radio last summer when his TNA contract expired. That you know, he's a guy that, to me, I know 5 years ago he not tried out for WWE, but he wanted to come to WWE, or he was, you know, thinking about it, whatever. And he tried out for the Tough Enough show, and they turned him down because of his small size. And that was 5 years ago. It's not like, you know, it's not 1992 or fucking 85 in the Land of the Giants or even 2005. This is 2011. Back then, they didn't know what a star was in wrestling. This was before, I know we had Daniel Bryan and CM. Even Bryan at that point wasn't a star. Punk hadn't broken out yet, really. You know, he was a multi-time world champion, but he wasn't the guy that he was a couple months afterwards. Yeah. But, you know, even then, I'm thinking, you know, they turned him down then. But after the run that he had in TNA, I know he made a name for himself in Ring of Honor, but, you know, give TNA all the shit that you want. They made him a star, at least at one point in 2012, when he won the world title, X Division champion, World Tag Team champion, the greatest man who ever lived, arriving in NXT with the gimmick that made him famous, essentially, on the indie scene, Ring of Honor and TNA, same guy. Pretty much, you know, we haven't heard him talk yet or anything. Like I said, in hashtag, he got attacked by Baron Corbin. Sorry, spoiler alert, but not a huge spoiler. It was all over the internet. But the greatest man who ever lived in NXT. Were you pumped to hear about that?
I'm very excited for Austin Aries. I've seen him when I used to watch TNA, and he was one of the bright spots, and it's glad he came to the good side.
We talked about it. Absolutely. I mean, we talked about it a month ago. I thought we were going to see him in London. A takeover. Didn't happen. I was pretty disappointed about that, but he is here at the Orlando taping. Again, like AJ, perfect place, perfect timing, considering his history in TNA, in Universal, MGM Studios, wherever, in Orlando. But it's great. NXT, I mean, the whole wrestling right now, I feel like, is not hot. It's not like, oh, you know, wrestling is hot in terms of, like, as hot as it was in, like, 85. But I'm talking about my genuine interest in wrestling. And I mean, it's different for you and for me and for everyone, because there's a lot of people who just don't care, you know, which is fine. But for me, personally, being an optimistic wrestling fan, a lot of different options now. Yeah. NXT got a lot of things to look forward to. Austin Aries being one of them. So we talked about it with AJ. Any dream match for you that sticks out with Austin Aries, NXT, main roster, whatever, that you would love to see him, you know, take part in at some point during his WWE run?
I'd probably say the same people with AJ, like you said.
Rollins,
everyone, pretty much. He's good enough worker that he put him in with a broomstick and it'd still be entertaining. So, like Styles, Aries has the talent to be on the main roster, and I can't wait for him to mix it up with the big guys. And
in the big leagues.
Yeah.
In the big leagues. So speaking of which,
play.
Look at the adjective. Play. Great line. Big old Kevin Nash. Did he tear his quad when he made that joke? Yep. And that joke's been done to death over the last 15 years. But anyway, so speaking of which, do you think Austin Aries could be main roster bound at some point?
I think he'll be roster bound after Samoa Joe.
Okay, so you think Samoa Joe will be on Raw or SmackDown at some point?
Yes, well, he should be at least.
He should be. Do you think he will be? It's a different question. I mean, I know he came in to add to the momentum of NXT, but this guy got hot in NXT.
I'd say yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think even if for a one-off, I've talked about it before in articles, but even if it was for a one-off, didn't happen in the Rumble, went to Zayn, which is great, made sense. Even if it's for like a U.S. Open challenge, like I think he needs to be on TV at least once. Like he's that fucking good. Like I don't care if he's 40, 50, okay, maybe if he's that old, you shouldn't put him on TV, but he's like 30-something. He's still got a couple years left, in him. So I'm excited to see Austin and or Joe on the main roster at some point. But let's enjoy the moment while it lasts with them in NXT, the hottest thing in wrestling right now, in my opinion. You know, above all else, can't wait to see him in Brooklyn at TakeOver. Already bought your tickets, right? Yeah. All right, well, like we talked about before, I already bought the tickets. Can't wait to see Austin Aries versus Ty Dillinger. And Austin Aries and Dillinger in Brooklyn. In Dallas. You already bought your tickets to that too, didn't you? Dallas, WrestleMania, Raw, SmackDown, Main Event Superstars. You'll be there too?
Yeah.
Did you buy me a ticket too?
Yep.
Good, I'll be there. Hashtag.
Spent like $10,000.
Good. Front row seats, right? Good. Hashtag book the trip. Book the trip.